this episode is going to be a follow-up episode. We had a comment from a viewer on our episode about compliments. And she actually found us a year before when I talked about my decluttering and moving to Florida. But I'm going to be honest, she brings up some awesome questions that I think we need to break this apart into 2 episodes. So I'm going to reach out to her and let her know that to watch for these episodes, but I don't want her to think we're not answering all the questions. But I know if she has questions, other people have questions on it. So we're hoping we wanted to answer her questions in our episodes because just that. If somebody else didn't feel like writing down a comment, but they might have the exact same, we wanted to answer them all. So are we ready to get going on this?
We're ready.
Let's do it. Okay. So one of the first things she asks us, and I thought this was I can't wait to hear your response on this one. Remember, we're talking about compliments. How often do you yourself give compliments to others? So she's talking about the 3 of us. How often do we give out compliments to other people?
Do you want like a daily or a weekly, a monthly? Like what is
So I think, why don't we, well, there's 2 parts to this. So let me rephrase this, okay?
okay?
How often do you give us give compliments to others? And do we only give compliments to people we know? Or do you sometimes give compliments to strangers? And I don't think it's a number. Like, what is your thought process on giving a compliment?
I give them every opportunity I can. So for instance, my girlfriends are wanting to go to this event and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go to the event, but I go, hey, I'll go, but I'm going because I want to hang out with you ladies, not because of the actual event. So it's just things like that, like a little like, you know, the big thing for me is the compliment of saying, I want to spend time with you guys. And so I try to sprinkle that through as much as I possibly can, just because I feel like, why wouldn't you sprinkle good stuff, good energy through as much as possible? And I do it to strangers too. Not as much though. Definitely not as much, but I'll definitely compliment a stranger. I think it feels good.
Do you, in your compliment giving, how do I want to say this? Do you have to think about it or does it automatically? So what I mean by this, so let's just say, I'll give my example. Pete will walk by and in my mind, I'm like, damn, he smells good. And then I'm like, well, that's a compliment. He should know that. And I'll yell it out like, hey, smelling pretty good there.
Yeah.
And I can hear him chuckle, but then I hear him like, hey, thanks, you know? So that's what I mean. Sometimes I have to be like, I see something and I'll be like, huh, he looks really nice. And I'll say it to myself and walk and I'm like, don't stop, turn, say the compliment. Or are you just like, it just like flows out of your mouth without thinking?
I think I'm an observer, so I notice things. And so if, going over to a friend's house, it's like, oh my God, your place looks amazing, or you've got a new piece, or you did something with your hair, whatever the compliment is. I just think I observe a lot. And so it allows me to pick up on things and then I just make a comment about that thing.
And what about strangers?
Strangers, like I said, wouldn't be as much. But if I notice something like, you can tell when someone has put some effort in, or you can see when someone wants a little bit of attention. So why not give it to them?
Okay. Tracy? E?
You know, anyone with a
Yeah.
dog gets a compliment.
Anyone with
Sorry,
a dog.
anybody with a dog gets a compliment?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yes.
your dog. Oh,
Um,
your dog.
yeah, I think I give compliments freely. I don't think I really think about it a lot. It's I think sort of like you, Tracy. I notice things, and so I just, I tell people, I just let them know, wow, I like this, or wow, you look great today, or wow, like whatever it happens to be. Um, or wow, you really did amazing at that. I mean, I compliment Avery even like, so good trying, or, like, wow, your association is really good here, or, like just things like that. Maybe it's just more like reinforcement or something. I don't know. And for strangers, absolutely for sure. I love giving complete strangers compliments. I love it because it's like there can be nothing that makes that person's day than telling somebody how great they look, or their hair is amazing, or, thank you so much for everything you've just done for me because they've helped you in the store, or whatever that scenario is. It's like, yeah, I do that every chance I can, every chance I can. I look for it. I look for the opportunity to do it when I'm in public.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that you look for the
I
opportunity. I
do.
like
I
that.
look.
yeah.
Mhm.
I know I haven't answered yet, but I have another question and then I'll answer. I think when it comes to here, when she asked about um people do you find yourself, because you might be around immediate family members all the time, that you might not give a compliment as quickly because things kind of become transparent because you always see that,
Mm.
to instead of somebody that just like another family member that you haven't seen and you see them walk in? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like some things become so routine, you might not give that compliment. Do you find yourself doing that?
I don't. I don't
No?
find myself being less complimentary to people that I'm around a lot. So
Okay.
no.
Right. I was just wondering about that. So I love giving compliments. I think they are the easiest and most gratifying piece of kindness to do on a moment's notice. I think I love complimenting strangers just like you do, Tracy E. Like I will go out of my way to make sure I compliment a stranger because it has happened to me and I probably wasn't feeling the best that day for some reason or not. And that was the quickest thing that somebody changed my mood,
Mm.
was getting a compliment from a stranger.
Mm.
Even if I didn't really believe them, like whether it was my hair or usually I get it on my curliness of my hair
Yeah.
or it's on, I don't know, anything else. And it'll be like, really? They thought that looked good? And then I'm walking away with, yes, they did. They thought it looked good. Stand tall. Like, it's like they don't know you from Adam. They didn't have to give you a compliment. They don't know who you are, because that's another question she asked later on. Into you just accept it. So I think giving a compliment is the quickest act of kindness you can do to somebody.
Mhm.
I also think it makes you feel good.
I was going
Yeah.
to say it's more for me than it is for the other person because I
Mhm.
feel so good
Yeah.
because I've taken the time to notice something. And I'm now, speaking my truth. I can't take on however they're going to accept
Right.
that information,
Right.
right? It's like
Right.
that's you, right? That's not me. But for me, it's like it's just so nice to be able to say, listen, God, I love your hair. I mean, I was in a store the other day, and this woman had the best hair I've ever seen. Like, she was like, the color of her gray was just incredible. Like, just like one of those stunning things that you just want to keep looking at her, right? And it's like, this is going to be embarrassing if I don't say something. So, I did. I just walked right up to her, like purposefully walked right up to her. I was in the grocery store and I said, I got to tell you, you have got the best hair ever. It is amazing. She's like, oh,
Yeah,
really? Oh, really? Thank you so much. I was like, yeah, seriously, you look fabulous. Turned around and walked away. Like,
yeah.
Well, don't you think as humans, we all want to be seen? We want to be like
Mhm.
acknowledged. And it's just you're acknowledging another human being. I think
Yes.
like you said, Michelle, it's easy. It's the easiest
Yeah.
kindness you can hand
It
out.
is the easiest form. So definitely. So we do definitely walk up to a stranger. And if this stranger, so sometimes I have had this where a stranger doesn't like, they kind of might be taken back a little bit, or they might seem disinterested. Release that. Just release that, because you don't know what that other person is thinking.
mhm,
So they might be having a bad day. They might have something else on their mind. You don't know what your compliment actually is doing to them. You have no clue. So don't take it as a bad thing. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have interrupted them. Don't do that. Just do it and walk away.
yeah,
That's all you can do. Like, don't expect, don't give a compliment as an expectation for something in return.
right,
If that's the way
right.
you feel, give the compliment and continue walking, because later on, that person might be thinking about that and understand some. There's so many times I've heard stories about someone's given a compliment and that literally changed that person's life. And they might not have reacted to it at that moment. You don't know it. Give the compliment. So,
It's an act of kindness, a compliment. It
yeah,
really is an act of kindness. And when you think of it that way, then who doesn't want to do that,
Mm.
right?
right,
It's like
And
painting
your
for the skies.
intention is
right.
just to give kindness. So if someone
Yeah,
takes it the wrong way, your intention wasn't to piss them off.
yeah, yeah.
Right. And that's what she asked here. She said she saw somebody and she really wanted to go give them a compliment. And she said, I didn't dare go up to her because I didn't know how she would respond, or if she would thought I was weird. And here's the thing, do it anyways. And there's a couple thoughts I have here. First off, just give the compliment and, like I just said, walk away. You don't have to wait for a response. You don't have to run away. You don't have to do anything. You give it and you walk away. And it sounds to me like walking up and having a conversation with somebody you don't know could be something scary. In our previous episode, you have to go back and watch. We talked about doing things that are scary. And when you go up and give your first one, first time I ever did it, I was like nervous, to be honest. But then it's like, this is like second, like, I see something I like, I just tell them, I love that on you. It's like, it kind of brings you out of your shell and try something new. So just do it. Just do it. And the second part of this is, hold on. Well, there's two parts. We'll go with this. First one, how do you feel when someone gives you a compliment after you've given them one? Do you feel that they feel like it's a spontaneous, like they have to give you one? Or is it really authentic? Like she's like, so let's just say, Tracy, you walked over to that woman, she's like, I love your hair. And she came back with you, well, I love your glasses. Do you feel like it was authentic, or did you feel like she was just giving you one because you gave her one?
No, I mean, I assume it's authentic until somebody proves me otherwise. Like, I'm not going to question someone giving me a compliment. I believe that's what they're, if the words are coming out of their mouth and they're saying those things, I believe they mean those things,
Right,
regardless of how it's happened, whether it's a compliment that they have given me right after I've given them a compliment. Like maybe I just beat them to the punch. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like, how do I know how all of that unfolded? It's just
right,
nice to be the recipient of someone saying, "Hey, I really like your glasses," or "Hey, your hair
right,
looks nice," or whatever. It's like, well, thank you. Because it does make you feel nice. It makes you feel, oh, that's
right,
nice. Thank you. Thanks for noticing that I got new glasses. It's very
right.
nice.
Okay.
I think you should just take it and not overthink it, not read
Yeah.
anything into it. And again, I'm sure we talked about this in the original episode. A lot of people don't know how to take a compliment, and so they don't know. They don't just go thank you. They go, oh, I've got to respond, and so they're not responding in a malicious way. They're responding like, I just, oh, you made me feel good. I want to make you feel good too. I wouldn't overthink it. I would just accept the compliment and go, oh,
And
nice.
that's what she talked about. That's the last point I want to bring up. She brought up that point within our episode. She had her best friend who just couldn't take a compliment. So if she complimented her on sometimes, like sometimes she complimented her on how nice she looked because that's the way she thought. And she would come back with, so you meant all the other days I look like crap? And so my thought is, so she stopped giving her compliments.
Just wait,
And
her friend said that? Like her friend said,
yeah,
oh, so you all thought,
right. So there's a couple things here, and
okay.
don't stop giving her compliments. Still give her compliments. That's you. If you have that feeling, still give it to her. If she, as the recipient, is unable to accept the compliment,
Mhm.
that's not your cross to bear.
No, definitely
That's
not.
hers.
Yeah.
Don't stop practicing giving compliments
Right, but
because
if that's your friend and you know she's uncomfortable with him, then isn't it you as a friend go, you know what, maybe this doesn't work for you. And though I can give compliments to my other friends and other people, maybe me being a friend would not to compliment you and maybe check it in another year and do a compliment or something and not kind of force that uncomfortableness onto her friend.
Why wouldn't you just have that conversation? Like, why wouldn't
that's
you just turn
whatever.
around to your friend and say, what do you mean I look like crap? When she says I look like what you're telling me I look like crap the rest of the time, like, and just have that conversation right then and there. No, I don't, but I think today you look, I love the sweater or I love the
Yeah,
pants or I love your hair or whatever. It looks,
right.
I just noticed it more today than I have any other day. Do you not want me to give you compliments? Like, why wouldn't you just have the conversation that needs to be had?
Yes. And I understand what you're saying, Tracy G. I do. I understand that. I used to be that person. I used to be that person that when I got a compliment, like I was never the one that said, well, thank you, and ended it. I was always that compliment, that person that would say, oh, this whole thing, I got this at Goodwill. I got it for $1. You like this? Really? Oh, thank you. Like there was always an explanation behind it. Or in my mind, I would have, well, she didn't give me a compliment yesterday and I wore a whole new outfit. Maybe that outfit made me look fat. And then I had to change my process because somebody had a conversation with me. Michelle, just say thank you. It was somebody had a conversation with me. So I think there's a little bit of both within that. Why is that person uncomfortable to accept a compliment? My was because I was always ridiculed and my self-worth was in the
Yeah.
floor.
I was going to say, I think when you can't accept a compliment, I think it's about your own perception of self-worth. I'm not worthy of this compliment. I'm
Right.
uncomfortable getting it. I don't
Now,
know what to do with it.
right, Tracy G, I do agree with you. I do agree if you have a conversation with if our viewer says, you know, I'm just going to say to her, I just want to give you a compliment. Please accept it. And she turns around and says, I can't, I don't want it. Like it does
For
not
sure.
go good. I totally agree with you, Tracy G.
Well, I
Pull
think it's
back.
also
Don't
dependent
stop.
on the relationship. She's a
Right.
friend. I don't know what that means. Like, is that a
Right.
friend that she can have a nice
Well, it
conversation?
was her best friend. It was her best friend.
Oh, it was her best friend.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then she should be able to have a conversation about compliments if it's
Yeah.
her
Right.
best friend. They should.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. She did say best friend.
Okay.
So yes, you have a conversation, but I agree with, we have a conversation to a certain point, but we don't
Yeah.
force the compliments down their throat.
You know what's well, you know, it's really interesting because I also was a person of like, you know, let's bring the shield up when anybody wanted to compliment me. It was like I gotta like bombard that off me. Like I can't accept that. Don't be giving me any compliments. And like honestly, I was like a gladiator with a shield, like, you know, just getting rid of the not that there was that many compliments coming at me, but when there would be one, I'd be
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to do with that. And then it was really interesting.
I didn't
I
like
went
what you just
across,
did there.
huh?
I didn't
I know.
like what you just did there.
What you didn't like what I just did there.
Yeah, you go, I was like a gladiator. Not that there were that many compliments. Tracy, you take that back.
Okay. Um, so, but what's interesting, and I still find it sometimes difficult to accept compliments because my default mode is that's not true, right?
Right.
My default thought, and I have to stop myself and go, thank you, I received that. And
Yes.
when I started saying I received that, it actually made me think about what the person actually said. It wasn't like a thank you, let's move on, right? I thank you, I'm uncomfortable, let's move on and get out of this mode. It was like thank you, and I'm actually processing what you've just said to me. When I say I receive it, it's like, okay, thank you. And
And you know
sometimes
what?
I am uncomfortable.
And you know what else? I'm hoping this viewer is listening to this because my question to her is, did this best friend ever give out compliments?
Yeah.
Because that's like, you know, Tracy and I both said that we give out compliments very easily, but we won't accept them. Does she even give out compliments?
Yeah.
Because that's an interesting dynamic. Is she just totally critical about the whole world and never gives out a compliment? Or does she give them easily but can't accept them?
Mhm.
You know, because we have in past episodes, we always talk about stories we tell ourselves and people's opinions, and we always believe the negative that people tell us. Oh, you're a failure. Oh, you made that mistake. Oh, look at what you did. So now someone tells us, oh, Tracy, I really like your hair. Oh, Tracy, you really did good on that live you did. Oh, Tracy, you know, all this stuff. And we're like, oh, no, no, no. Shields up. Gladiator, my shield's up. Bang, bang, bang. Can't accept those. Tracy, you know that live you just did? You said too many ums. Oh, I have to believe that. No, there's no difference. Both, you know, both are the person's opinions. We have to accept the compliment as long as accepting the other feedback. But we put up those shields. So I'm interested to know if she gives out compliments. So viewer, if you're listening, let us know if she gives out compliments too. She ever did. But
Maybe that's a thought process that should be just, you know, a compliment instead of viewing it as a compliment. It's just simply feedback. Feedback from somebody, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's just feedback.
yeah, I was just thinking about that. We have no problem believing those negative,
Yeah.
what we call negative things of failure or whatever it is. We have no problem believing them. All three of us have worked through that. Nope, that's their opinion. We push it over there. But yeah, someone giving us a compliment is the exact same thing, but it's a positive. It's the exact same thing. It's a positive. That's all it is. in my mind.
I want to just go back to the, I think the original question where it said about strangers too.
Yep.
It's really interesting because both my daughters are early 20s, and my husband and I, we have no problem talking to strangers. Like, oh, that pineapple looks really fresh. Where'd you get it? Or, someone's eating something in a restaurant. We don't mind kind of going, oh, is that good? And they just say their generation does not do that. They just don't ever say anything to someone that's not someone that they know. So I don't know the age of this viewer, but I'm just saying, like, also
Yeah.
generations that might, like, my daughter, I should actually ask both of them, but I don't think they would do the same as what we would do, just
Right.
based on what they've said about their generation does not talk. Like,
Yeah.
when you're in an elevator or you're in the grocery line or any of that, and they just go, you guys talk a lot. Like, you talk to strangers. It's like, yeah, we do.
So, and that's our recommendation. Like, we should challenge them. Like, we need to start having more conversations.
I also want to suggest that in the grocery line and in the elevator, 90% of the people are like
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Like there isn't, this has created a sense of there is no room for
Yeah.
spontaneity, there is
Yeah.
no room for
Yeah.
that conversation. But when this is gone, it actually requires a different level of connection out there. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you would be the kind of person who would start a conversation with somebody in an elevator or a grocery line,
Right.
but this ensures that you're not going to ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
read an article recently about kids in the US. There's a whole bunch of schools that are banning phones, and they said one of the biggest things that they've noticed is that once they get over the fact that they don't have their phones, they all start talking to each other. Like they all
Yeah.
actually have to have conversations with each other. They get to know each other on a completely different level.
Yeah. My granddaughter, when she goes into high school, has to put her phone in a lockbox,
Yeah, that's what they
and she
this
can't
that's
get
what
it back to the end of the day.
this whole
Yep.
article was about that lockbox. So,
Yep.
you're right, like a generational thing, Tracy. I mean, our kids were brought up with phones, right? Like, or certainly they
Yep.
got phones, by the time they were a teenager, 16, 17. And it's like, what is that really doing in terms of how we are engaging with people outside, like for me to walk up to that person in the store and tell her that she had amazing hair. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. Most people would be on their phones, so they wouldn't even see her that she had nice hair.
And here's the thing. I love walking over to a young girl, a teenager, or somebody in their early 20s and giving them a compliment, because I've never seen one of them light up so much. Like I seeing a girl like that's 9 or 10 and she has on like a sparkly dress or whatever. I notice it, I make sure I walk over so that girl knows she looks wonderful. Like to start building that self-confidence from within. I think that's part of us lifting up each other,
Mm.
you know? So, I hope this has answered some of your questions. Anybody, if you have more questions on our conversation, please put them below. I will be reaching out to her to let her know when our episode will be airing. And stay tuned for part 2 of this, because there's a whole nother paragraph that she has another question on. And we think when we sat and read it, I think this is a longer, like we didn't want to combine too much. So make sure, put your comments below if you have any comments on this. Share this with somebody who you think might have the same type of questions on compliments. Make sure you give us a like and hit that notification to make sure for our next episode. Until then.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.